Didn't you know that you were loved? Didn't you know that you were chosen? Didn't you know you were beautiful? And didn't you know that you were enough? Welcome to Real Talk today. Thank you for joining me for another moment in the meantime. Hey, it is your girl B.Reel, and I thank you so much for joining me for another moment in the meantime. I pray that your day has gotten off to an amazing start. And of course, if it has not, it's okay because you still got some time left in the day for everything to be exactly what you're hoping it's going to be. And I say that every week, and I thought about it just now when I was saying it. It's just like, if your day is not going, the way you want it to go, and just like, and I tell y'all that it's still some time left for everything to be what you're hoping it's going to be. I just want to pause though and ask, like, what are you hoping it's going to be? Like, what are you hoping your day will turn out to be? What are you hoping your week will turn out to be? What are you speaking that it will be? Because you do know that life and death is in the power of the tongue. And so it's just like, what are you saying? What are you what are you saying that your day is going to be? What are you saying your week is going to be? Sometimes we're struggling and we're stressing out, and it's simply because we're not giving ourselves a chance to have a great day, because we haven't even so much as spoken into existence a great day over our lives. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that your day is going good, and if it ain't, speak that it will be what you're hoping it's going to be, and really know in your heart what you hope that it's going to be. Just be around here aimless. So let's just, that part. Anywho, it's been a week since we talked, and I really hope that what we talked about last week concerning don't wash your nets too soon, I hope that really resonated with you, and I hope that, you had a reason to keep going instead of wanting to quit so soon, because a lot of times we can always quit too soon. And that's kind of what was going on in this story coming from Luke 5. And we're still talking about that today, where these fishermen, they out here and they trying to get some fish. They've been out here working all day long, and then finally it's just like the end of the day, they ain't caught nothing, and they're washing their nets. And to wash their nets says, all right, the day's work is done. They're washing the nets, and then Jesus like, hey, let me get your boat real fast. And so, he goes teach the people or whatever, and then he tells them, all right, go out into the deep and then lower your net. And then, upon their obedience to the instruction to go out into the deep and then lower the net, what happens is they end up catching a whole lot of fish, much more than they would have caught on any normal day. And so that's what's going on. And like I said, that's Luke 5. And it's just kind of what we just kind of discussed last week. Just don't wash your net too soon. Like, sometimes we give up when it's not really time to give up. It's time to roll up our sleeves and work a little harder, And so just to continue with that, or continue with this lesson, there was something very pressing on my heart. I thought that I was gonna, let's just kind of chat about, let's go deeper, instead of being so on the surface all the time. And that was really initially what I wanted to just kind of talk about, that Jesus instructed them to go out into the deep in order to catch these fish. But and while that is important, what God really wants me to share with y'all, and he hit me really hard with it, because some stuff I just I feel like I need to share this with y'all, but then it'd be some things it's just like God, he like drop kicked me with it, quickly, and like had your girl sitting somewhere looking silly. And so that's kind of what today what today is for me. And like I said, we're in Luke 5. I think I've said that like 8 times, but he just said it's coming from verse 4. And it just says, when he finished speaking, he being Jesus finished speaking, he told Simon, take the boat into deep water and lower your nets to catch some fish. And so, like I said, I was thinking about going out into the deep. Like, God wants me to go out into the deep. He wants me to, not be, in shallow waters. He wants me to, go into the deep. But actually, God said, yeah, cool. But I want you to lower your net. And I was like, And so the more, I was just thinking on it, and then God really started to talk to me about it. He was just telling me that what was dope about Simon is that he was willing to lower his net again. A lot of times we have gone through things, and just like them, they're tired. They've been working all night, working with no success, mind you. And so it was easy for them to go out into the deep. And I'm going to point out something that I thought was super, kind of funny. They were able, he said to them, take the boat into deep water and lower your nets. And Simon's response to him was, teacher, we worked hard all night and caught nothing. But if you say so, I'll lower the nets. And if you just think about how he responded, it's going to make a little sense of how God explained this to me. He didn't say, teacher, we worked hard all night and caught nothing. But if you say so, I'll go into the deep. He said, if you say so, I'll lower the nets. So that tells me that going out into the deep is not the hard part. And how does that relate to us? Okay, not yet. Going out into the deep was not the hard part. Lowering, help me talk, Jesus. Lowering the net was the hard part. To lower the net, that meant like he had to do something, and they've already been working with no success all night, and he still had to do something. And so many times when we're in predicaments like that, when we're in situations like that, where it's just like we've done all that we can do and we still haven't had any luck, we still haven't had any success. By the time we hear from Jesus, we want him to just do it. We want him to just go ahead and make a way, God. Go ahead, provide. Go ahead, open the door. Go ahead and pay the bill. Go ahead and send the husband. Go ahead and whatever you want him to go ahead and do. After you've been working for so long, you just want him to go ahead and do it. You know what I'm saying? But he instructed them to lower their net. And what that suggests to me, and what that suggests to us, is that we still got to do something. And it's hard to try again. That's all I'm trying to say. Sometimes, a lot of times, most times, it is so hard for us to try again after disappointment. It's hard for us to try again after rejection. It's hard for us to try again after, after stuff just didn't work out. And so, like I said, Simon, he wasn't like, all right, God, if you say so, I'll go into the deep. But he said, if you say so, I'll lower my net. I believe that the symbolism here, or just how God wants me to explain this, is that it's easy for us to go into the deep, because going into the deep, it creates an illusion that we're willing to try again. It creates an illusion that we're willing to try again, to go into the deep. Like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna get in this boat and I'm gonna go out here, but I'm expecting that because he is Jesus and because he performs miracles, I'm expecting that I'm just gonna go out here, but these fish, they're gonna jump in this boat. Okay. And so many times we expect God to do it like that. We expect, like, okay, I'm gonna go into the deep. What does going into the deep even look like for us? Because I believe that it's very important to make the word relevant to our everyday life, so we can really, apply it and understand it, for God's sake. But I believe that going into the deep, it suggests, or what it looks like, it could be, I went to a worship service, so you feel like that's going into the deep. I woke up at 3 a.m. and I prayed. So that's me going into the deep. I'm trying to think of something even more practical than that. But just going into the deep, sometimes it could be you just looking like you ready for God to do something, okay? And I'm hoping that I'm hoping I'm making sense with this. But what happens is you go out into the deep, and once you're going out into the deep, you feel like because you've gone out into the deep that God is not requiring you to do a thing. And so he says to them, lower your net. Now you have to understand, if you have already been out fishing all day long, you ain't caught nothing. And even though you're out there, you have to like lower my net. Like, I am tired of lowering my net. Like I lowered my net this morning and ain't nothing happened. I lowered my net and I just been out here sitting. So now you want to tell me to lower my net again. Trying again is very hard. Trying again is very scary. And so a lot of times, you know, like I said, we'll go to the worship service. We'll fast. We'll pray. We'll do just enough to try to show God, like, okay, all right, I'm ready for you to bless me now. But when he actually asks you to lower your net, that's where it gets murky. That's where it gets scary. That's where the real faith comes in at, because it requires you to do a thing. And a lot of times when we're waiting on a miracle, we're waiting for God to do what he's going to do. We're just waiting for him to do what he's going to do. And so if he tells us to do a thing, especially if we've already done it before, we're feeling like, I don't want to try again because I've already been rejected. I don't want to try again with another relationship because I already got embarrassed before. I don't want to, I'm just scared. Like, I want a house, but I don't want to meet with a realtor. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to, lowering your net requires you to do something that you may be afraid to do. To try again, guys, is very scary, especially when you have failed. And that's something like, I think one thing that makes me is that it's just like, you know, I've just failed a lot, you know. And so at this point, trying again, it's just like, I remember wanting to try, I can't think of what it was, but I wanted to try something, but it just paralyzed me, the thought of trying again when I had already not had it work for me before. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, like I said, in relationships, like, you know, already and been cheated on before, so it's just like, yeah, I can't try this again. Or a lot of people have been like, you've been divorced, so it's just like, how I'm supposed to try again with another marriage? Like, I'm scared to try again. Like, I'm scared to lower my net. And so I asked God specifically when he was talking to me, like, lower my net. Like, what does lower, I cannot say this word. What does lowering my net look like? And he told me, like, Brittney, like, to be vulnerable, like, lower your net. Like, that's you lowering your net, to be vulnerable, be willing to show people your scars, show them your flaws in relationship with others, be willing to, like, give them your truth, be willing to be involved. Like, one thing about me, I can detach very quickly. It's a gift. It could be a curse too, I don't know. But I can detach very, very, very quickly, like in a very unhealthy kind of way. But when I have detached from someone mentally, okay, I'll put myself out there a bit. I break up with people in my head before I break up with them, like, verbally. Like, I don't care if it's a boyfriend or just a friendship, or it can even be family. Like, if I'm feeling like I don't want you around no more, I'm not gonna have the talk with you while I'm thinking about it. By the time I get to you and discuss this thing, I am already out of there. And so I detach quickly and meticulously, to be honest. And so God was just telling me, like, try again. And he was telling me this in all aspects of just like my relationship my relational life. Like, I want you to be involved and like don't be so detached. Like, be involved with your friendships and with your relationship, and loosen up and trust fully and let go of things and release anxiety. And so for me, that's lowering my net, because to do all of those things means that I'm trying again in believing that people ain't trash. Like, that's my thing. I think people trash for the most part. And so God don't want me to feel like that no more. So he's like, go out into the deep, lower your net. And for me, lowering my net looks like what all the things I just said: being vulnerable, being involved, loosening up, trusting people, letting go of offenses and stuff like that. Like, for me, that's to lower my net. And so for you, it may be something completely different. Maybe you want a car. Maybe you want a car. And you've been praying, God, give me this car. God, I need a car. God, give me a car. But you ain't even never went to the car lot. Like, lower your net and go to the lot, sis. And we just have to understand that God requires us to do a thing. To whom much is given, much is required. And so it's just like, if you're expecting God to do a thing, be willing to try again, even if you failed once before. Like, Aaliyah had a song, and if at first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again. And that's all Simon was doing in this scripture. He was willing to dust himself off and try again. He could have took all his frustration on having already worked all day back in that boat, and he could have just been like, God, I'm not low. Why am I gonna lower this net? Like, but he just did it in faith, and because he lowered his net, then he got way more than he would have ever gotten from his day's work. So it's just like, are you willing to lower your net? And I don't know what your boat is, I don't know what your thing is, I don't know what you're wanting God to do, but you have to lower your net. That means that put in the work. Put in the work. You cannot say for a moment that you want to achieve this level of success, but you haven't done a thing. Like, it makes absolutely no sense. And so lower your net. And I think a lot of times we have our goals and we have our plans. And I think that we get really caught up in like strategizing and planning, and I just want to hear from God, and and of course you need to hear from God, absolutely, but what you gonna do after you done heard from him? And I know I got to a point where it's like, I don't want to go to another worship night, I don't want to go to another prayer meeting, I don't want to tarry another day, I don't want another prophetic word, I don't want none of that if at the end of it all I'm not gonna do the thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nothing else. All I want is courage to lower my net. I want courage to try again. I want courage to get an apartment. I want courage to buy a house. I want courage to love again. I want courage to try again, to trust again. I want courage to do all of these great things that's being prophesied to me. Ain't no point in getting another prophecy if you're not going to lower your net. Does that make sense? I believe that makes sense. I feel I may have gone all around the mulberry bush to get there, but all I'm saying today is be willing to try again. Get over yourself, get over your pride, get over your fear, get over your anxiety, get over all of these conditions, and just be willing to try again. You don't know what's on the other side of your try. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're sitting here and you're waiting on God to just do every doggone thing. But God is just like, you want to meet me halfway? Like, I want you to have a part in this miracle. Like, partner with God in your miracle. Partner with him. Try again and see what God will do. You need to try. You need to lower your net. That's what God said to me. And it ain't sound sexy when he said it, but I had to take in what he was saying. He's just like, Brittney, like, you want this life, and you want these relationships, and you want this type of success. You want to be married. You want a family, but you're a little detached. Like, as soon as somebody get on your nerve, you're done with them, And so he's lower your net and try again. Lower your net. Be vulnerable enough to have a conversation with somebody to say, hey, this is where you had me messed up. And I want to tell you that this is where you had me messed up. So maybe we can fix where you had me messed up. And did I have you messed up too? Okay. Like stuff like that. I'm typically unwilling to do, but God, he was just challenging me, like, lower your net. And like, for me, like I said, that's what it looks like for me. It's more of a thing of like being honest with people and being free with them and saying, no, I ain't finna do that. Or, let's talk about this. Or, let's see. That's me lowering my net. And y'all know I've talked about this like extensively. Like, I was just in a situation where I'm crashing with my homegirl on her couch for about 4 months, and I could have been nervous to look for another place. Like, Lord, I know that this is, oh my God, my finances are low key trash, but I heard God say, Brittney, look for a place. And I had to lower my net. I had to lower my net, and I had to be willing to be rejected. I had to be willing for somebody to say, no, you can't live here, in order to get to a place where it's like, oh yeah. Welcome home, So it's just like, sometimes we're so afraid of rejection that we don't even try. And I think that that's something we need to break, like today, like now. So that is certainly the prayer for today, that we would just be willing to try again, have the courage to go back, even if you've been rejected, even if you've experienced loss in this particular area. Like, if you feel that you heard God say, hey, go back and do this thing, then hey, go back and do that thing. And I also just want to encourage you too. A lot of times we're holding on to promises and we're holding on to words from God. I don't really know if this got anything to do with the lesson, but I just feel like I want to say it. Be willing to go back. This is something I talked to one of my mentees about the other day. And just like, be willing to go back to God and say, God, is this still your desire for me? Because when you're willing to go back and ask him a thing, then you won't just be out here winging it, trying again in the wrong areas. Don't just, when I say try again, I'm not saying go back to your ex from doggone high school and say, hey, I think we need to make it work. If that ain't what the father done told you, like, I'm saying, try again with love, period. So don't take this word and try to cater it to something that you desire that you haven't taken to the Father. So whatever it is that you think that you may need to try again, you may need to, ask the Father. It could be a business. It could be anything. Anything that we've been trying to get to while we in the meantime. Be willing to try again. But before you try again, even more so than that, hey, God, is this still your desire for me? Simon had a clear instruction from God, from Jesus, to say, hey, go out into the deep, lower your net. All right, cool. That was very clear. It's very specific. And so I believe that if God is giving you a go for something, then go ahead and lower your net. But if you ain't sure you got to go, then don't lower your net just yet. You know what I'm saying? So just be sure, ask the Father what's going on. Allow him to be a part of the dialogue before you just get to doing what you want to do. So that's just kind of where I'm at on that. I hope that made sense. I feel like it made sense, but if you got any questions, then hit me up. itmt@BrittneyReal.com. That's, email. And then just let me know, because I really want that to resonate. All right. Let's just be willing to try again. So I pray over you the courage to try again. And even more so than that, the courage to go back to the Father and say, hey, is this really what you want me to try again? Be clear. Okay. Be clear. Get the straight, clear instruction from the Father. Okay. And hey, guess what? If you need a little courage, because you're a little nervous and you just like, I want to try again, but I'm scared, that means you need a little confidence. And guess what that mean? If you need a little confidence, that mean you need a dance break. That mean you need a dance party. So this is what we had to do. We gonna have us a little dance party so you can get your courage up so you can try again. Understand what I'm saying? That's just how we gonna do this time. Cool.
I said chill, up and down, that's fine. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy.
Boy, don't you just love Shawn Michaels? The Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, WWF, not EF. Yeah, you got to, okay? Yeah. So, anywho, but listen, y'all, I just want to say that during the dance breaks, y'all better be dancing, okay? Or it's going to heavily disappoint me. But anywho, now, y'all, I'm going to be honest, because y'all know I like to keep it all the way high around here. I went back and I just listened to all that I just recorded. I heard a little background noise in the background. Just like, not like nobody like eating and stuff, but I could just kind of hear. So I don't know. And I'm addressing it because I like to address these things so that you'll be knowing. All that I just said, it was too far gone, and there was no way I was going to re-record it and it sound the way I needed it. Like, I wasn't going to say it like I just said it. So if it sounds some type of way, that's why. Yeah, y'all know I've been messing around with this new equipment. Your girl trying to get a little legit out here, so we're doing a whole lot of trying and trying. You see that? Trying. I ain't gonna never tell y'all to do something that I ain't willing to do. So I'm just trying to make this podcast be the very thing that I know God done told me it can become. So yeah, we're gonna have a lot of trial and error around this piece until we get it right. So if you hear something sounding a little, just keep in mind that your girl is trying. So anyway, you guys know, if you've been following me for any length of time, that I am a licensed life coach. And so that's a thing. And so just looking, the coursework that I did to become licensed, and wait a minute. I don't know. I didn't mean to say licensed. Yeah, I was. Listen, I was just like, I was talking. I was like, wait a minute. I think I'm lying to the people of God. Yes, I'm certified. I mean, I did the work, but we don't really call it licensed. It's just certified. So I just want to clear that up because I don't need y'all trying to do me in. Anyway, but I was asking God, like, how do you want me? I feel like I'm talking loud because I got headphones on, so let me try to scale that back a little bit. But I was just asking God, like, so, because I'm a Pinterest girl, like, I'm looking at stuff, and I like to kind of see how other people are doing things, but at the end of the day, I can only really do things the way I do things. So I was just kind of just going back and forth, just little principles and stuff. And God, he told me, like, no, I'm gonna tell you what to do. I'm gonna give you principles, and I'm gonna give everything to you in a real Brittney kind of way, so that you can deliver in the most Brittney way possible. And so he just got to. I had I think it was Saturday. I was just kind of in the zone. I had watched the documentary on Maya Angelou on Netflix. And if you haven't watched that, it is so good and so inspirational. If you aspire in any form of fashion to be a writer, or not even, you don't even have to want to be a writer, but just if you just want to be someone great, that is a documentary that you should definitely watch. One of the takeaways, and I can't think of the name of it, so I probably shouldn't have brought it up, but if you go on Netflix and scroll long enough, you'll see Maya Angelou. One of the things, it just inspired me how she didn't have like this strategy. Like, she didn't have like this big 10-year plan, and by this point I'm going to do this, by this one. She was literally just living her life and just like doing the things that felt great to her soul. And it made me really see that sometimes we're striving so hard to become great that we forget to do great things. And I was watching that documentary, and after it was over, I just started writing and just really hearing from God, and just about like just me. He just really encouraged me to just be like, Brittney, you don't have to strive to be great or come up with this whole social media plan on how to be great. Just be great, girl. Just do great things. And if your greatness is to be seen, then it'll be seen. But if it's not, then that's okay too, because sometimes the greatest thing in the world is to know that God dwells inside of you. And I was just thinking about that, like God lives inside of me. Greater is he who is within me than he that is in the world. That's God he's here, like he's with you all the time. He's literally within you. That's why none of us should fail. None of us, should go around feeling like we're not victorious, because the victorious one lives inside of us, So anywho, all of that, just watching it inspired me to just write something, and it led me to a principle that I want to share with all of y'all, and it's something that I'm pretty sure I'll be bringing up a lot more, but I'm gonna read it. And it's, when I say this mug, it's just like, when I say it's like scratched up on some paper, but I want to read it to y'all. I want to just share it so you guys can understand where I'm coming from when I say this. And so here we go. It says, and I wrote, the quieter I am, the easier it is to feel. Close your eyes, Brittney. Don't miss a thing. To fully embrace it all, you must abandon the parts of yourself that gives you the most control. Close your eyes, close your mouth, for not only are you in the presence of God, but his presence is inside of you. And then I started to write in the first person. He is in the movement of my hands to write these words. He's in the expansion of my lungs as I inhale. He's in the sound waves of Robert Glasper floating into my ears. He's in the marathon of the many thoughts running throughout my brain. He's in the corners of my lips as they curl up at the brilliance of a new idea. He's in the bend of my elbow as I secure and embrace. He is in the gravity that makes me stand tall. He is in the deep sigh as I release an offense. He is in the decision to love again. He is in the decision to trust again. He is inside of me, producing the very best parts of me. Close your eyes, Brittney. Close your mouth. Don't stop yourself from feeling him living inside of you. Y'all, what that meant to me is just close your eyes, close your mouth. Feel God inside of you. And I've been saying that ever since Saturday. Close your eyes, close your mouth, feel him inside of you. Sometimes when you see things, it makes you want to talk about the things that you see. But a lot of times we don't need to see, we don't need to speak. We only need to silence ourselves, hear God, and feel him. Literally feel him in your bones. Literally when your hands twitch or when your eyes, it's God. He is living inside of you. And just know, like, without him dwelling literally inside of me, I'm nothing. Without him breathing into my lungs, I'm nothing. And that brings about this appreciation that a lot of times we would overlook if we wouldn't take a second to close our eyes, close your mouth. You don't have to see everything. You don't have to talk about everything. Close your eyes, close your mouth, so then you don't have to speak about everything that you see. And so that's just a principle I wanted to share with you guys really quick. Close your eyes, close your mouth, feel God living inside of you, and allow that to birth like gratefulness in your life. You know what I'm saying? And these episodes are getting longer and longer. I'm gonna tuck that in next week. So yeah, but I also I sent out another text message if you're on the text message list, and I also put it on, I think I put it on Facebook. I've been very inconsistent in my Instagram, so I apologize for that if you be looking for something. But I did put out, asking another question, if you have some questions for me. And so I have some that I would like to answer. I think I'm going to save some of them for next week's episode because this episode has gotten very long. But I have one question. What do you hope to achieve by 50? I don't know. I used to feel bad about not knowing, but I just don't know. To be honest, I want to be happy. Yeah, I want to be happy. Yep, that's all I know. By 50, I want to be happy. I just want to be living my best life. Yeah, I would like to not be in any debt. I would like to, be able to travel if I want to without having to plan a month in advance to go somewhere. It's not, I just want to be happy. I would like to have a husband. Maybe a son. But I just want to be happy. Yeah, by age 50, that's what I want to be happy. That's all I really got for that one. What is one thing you are deeply proud of in your life? Probably how resilient I have been in the past 6 months to a year. When I have fallen down, I have stuck with the word I know God spoke over my life, and I've just believed in that thing. And against all odds, I just kind of been pushing forward anyway. So that's made me very proud to just know that I have the ability to really stick to something. So that I could probably think of another answer a little later, but I didn't read these questions before I hit record, so that's all I got for that one. When's the last time you completely lost yourself in something? Saturday, when I watched the Maya Angelou documentary. It was really good for my life. I had this one question, and I'm gonna take just a quick second on this one because I thought it was kind of good. I had someone send me a meme that said, "We need to stop teaching people that love is hard and complicated." No, toxic love is hard and complicated. And she wants to know my thoughts about that, and I'm gonna read it again. And I think we need to stop teaching people that love is hard and complicated. No, toxic love is hard and complicated. Brittney, what do you think about that? I think that sounds good. I think that, I think it really does sound good. I think it made for a great post. I don't really know how true it is, or I don't know. Like, I don't think you should just, I don't know. I believe that, we have been conditioned. We've been taught where love is concerned. I'm not the type, let me preface this by saying I'm not the type to think that somebody's supposed to stick around dealing with unconditional bull crap. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know if I'm going to say unconditional bull crap, but I don't think you should just sit around like just going through when you like just stupidity. You know what I'm saying? And only when you've reached a level of stupidity. And even if you want to act like you don't know, but I believe that when you say something like this, we need to stop teaching people that love is hard and complicated. I think that what we do is we kind of create a narrative that love is supposed to be simple. And I don't believe that it is. I believe that this is so tough, but I'm not saying that you're supposed to have a struggle bus story. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I don't believe that we should be taught that it's just supposed to be easy, because I'm a firm believer that easy come, easy go. I believe that all things require work. And to be honest, when it comes to love, I decided a long time ago not to do the whole relationship goals thing, looking at everybody else saying, oh, that's goals. I want that. I want this. I want that. People be lying. So you really don't ever know people's true story. So when it comes down to love goals and relationship goals and all that stuff like that, to be honest, like I look at my mom and daddy, I look at my pastor and his wife, I just kind of see how their love is going, or how it's been going, because they got long lasting love stories. Like, I'm gonna just keep it all the way high. If you've been married like less than 20 years, you ain't goals. Like, that's just, to me, you not goals to me. That's just kind of, I'm sorry, that's just kind of where the place I have reached on that. But I think that I don't know how I got there either, but I believe that we're taught, like, there's kind of like this thing of it's supposed to just be peaches and this and that. And I believe, like, when you look at like a really truly long lasting love story, like, you see where there's been some difficulty. You see where sometimes it probably did get hard. Sometimes it probably did get a little complicated. And I believe that once you can overcome the hard and the complicated times, that's just that shows how real it can be, you know. And so we're just conditioned to have things easy. We eat our food quick and easy. Everything is just easy for us, and so we believe that love should be the same way. But when I look at the ultimate example of Jesus, like, his love for us led him to a bloody cross. So him loving me wasn't easy. Him loving me was very hard, and it was very complicated. So I can't expect the love he had for me to be hard and complicated. But then when he places someone in my life and charges me to love that person, I can't expect that it's always going to be easy and never hard and never complicated. So I believe that this post, it sounds good, but at the same time, I believe that it's misleading, and it doesn't really encompass the truth of what love may bring. One of my favorite quotes is from John Legend in his song Save Room, and it just says that love hurts sometimes when you do it right. And as my life is concerned, I'm gonna say I agree with that. Like I said, I believe that my parents would probably say the same, you know. Now, if my mama tell me, Brittney, love ain't been hard with your daddy and love ain't been complicated with your daddy, then I will come back and recant my entire statement concerning this meme. But I'm just saying that when I look at Jesus, I believe that his love for me may think it was a little hard and complicated when he had to go to that cross. That's why he was out there praying and crying at the garden to get stimulated, like, you want to take this cup from me or nah? So I believe that it got a little hard, and I believe it got a little complicated. You know, you just bleeding out here on the cross because you love somebody. So I do believe that. Yeah, it's gonna be a no for me, dog. I don't like this meme at all. So yeah, that's question and answer segment. And be sure, to email me your questions whenever you have them. Email it to itmt@brittneyreal.com. I'm not going to tell y'all to follow me on Instagram. I just told you, like, I legit have been so inconsistent with my Instagram page. So just do me a favor. Have a friend listen to this episode of Real Talk Today. Share it on your social media, or just tell a friend. Send a screenshot to your friend in their text messages and just say, hey, you need to download this episode, take a listen. And that's what it is. All right. In the meantime, just remember that you're loved, you're chosen, you're beautiful, and you're enough. I think you're kind of dope too. And yeah, man, that's just kind of all I got on this. So I'll talk to you guys next week. In the meantime, remember that you are loved, you are chosen, you are beautiful, you are enough. And I think you're kind of dope too, all right? I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.